COVID, and I'm still taking stuff for it. To my immediate bottom left is my co-host, the Heath Ledger of this place, Joker. Say hello to the people.
Good evening, and as always, the statement that I'm going to say is I'm tired of watching marginalized communities get killed by the police, ACAB.
That's what he does. To my immediate bottom right is the resident crazy mama of the joint, Miss Victoria. Say hello to the people.
Hello, people. Hashtag FTK.
And we are joined tonight by a very special guest. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Union Gang and Villains Guild once again. Well, this is our first collaboration. I would like to introduce you to the head of the Union Gang, Mr. U.S. Army Overlord, Mr. Big Red One. Say hello to the people.
Union Gang represent. Power to the people.
See, this is going to be a good show, y'all. This is going to be a real good show. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about January 6th. I know. There's going to be a whole lot of people going to be like, oh, again with the, yes, again. On January 6, 2021, our elected leaders were threatened by American citizens who tried to overturn a democratically held election for Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. to reinstate their guy, Donald John Trump. Before we go any further, let me get you guys to listen to a video that I found on YouTube. It says, looking ahead to the final January 6th committee hearing. Take a listen.
Joining me now, former Senator and U.S. Attorney for Alabama, Doug Jones. He's a distinguished senior fellow at the Center for American Progress. And here with me on set is congressional reporter for The Guardian, Hugo Lowell. Thank you both very much for being here. Senator Jones, let me start with you. My Washington Post colleague Ruth Marcus writes today that she now believes Attorney General Merrick Garland should bring charges against Donald Trump because, quote, failing to bring them would be more damaging to the nation than turning a blind eye to his effort to subvert democracy and prevent the peaceful transfer of power. Do you agree?
Yes.
I think that sentiment is growing. This committee is making a compelling case, Jonathan, and thanks for having me this morning. And, look, Ruth also qualified that some. You've got to have evidence that can be admissible in court. A lot that we're seeing in the January 6th committee is not admissible, but it is a roadmap. It is a follow-up. These witnesses are under oath, much like that they would be in front of a grand jury.
Now, I stopped it right there on purpose because I want you to understand something. I'm going to say this on the air. Donald Trump and anybody connected to what happened on January 6th should be in jail. There, I said it. I understand he is a former president of the United States. I do not care. That man and his enablers and his hangers-on and his supporters tried to overturn an election. So therefore, that man should be in jail. Period. Does anybody on the panel have a problem with me saying that? Anybody? Anybody at all?
Absolutely. Hell no. He should be in jail, under the jail.
Thank you. Now,
Straight up.
So tonight we're going to talk about January 6th. We're also going to talk about the committee hearings that have been happening since this began. Now, we already know that Trump was impeached a second time, the only president in American history to be impeached twice. He was found not guilty because the Republicans are the Republicans. But there were two brave Republicans, and I won't even call them brave. They're doing their actual job, Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, who, along with the rest of the January 6th committee, have been having meetings and bringing witnesses in to talk about the conspiracy that is January 6th. So I'm going to throw it over to our guest. What do you think about what happened on January 6th, not only as an American citizen, but as a former member of the United States Army? What do you think?
I can absolutely tell you that, first and foremost, we all knew what was going to happen. Everyone knew. Mm-hmm. Social media was absolutely going crazy. I'm still getting notifications from my first account where, everyone was telegraphing what was going to happen. But I think it's really disgusting, right, that we've watched America with the most powerful military in the world, right, with my little quotations marks there, let Mill Team 6 run up in here and embarrass us in front of the entire world.
Amen.
They went out here and you let Mill Team 6 sack our Capitol in 4K. We watched the broken response from, the Secret Service on down, from the military supposed to have been there, the police. We watched these police getting beat with flags. It was just so oxymoronic, right? The so-called these patriots, they're really nothing more but fake patriots. They went out here and they're supposed to be back in the blue, but you beating these guys with American flags, right? What? I just my God. I watch, one of the more disgusting things I saw when they actually grabbed the American flag, threw it to the ground, and put a Trump flag in there.
Yep.
You had a clown up here waving that Trump flag back and forth like they just had won the Battle of Iwo Jima.
Yes.
And it was just absolute disgusting. And at the time, I didn't know how heavily armed the crowd was until the January 6th commission was out there. And I was like, why are they not laying these people down, man, for breaching the Capitol?
That's what I was
so
thinking.
it really was it was disgusting on many levels, especially as a soldier, because I really wanted to go up here and defend the Capitol. But I'm like, hey, if the president go burn down his own thing, so be it.
Okay.
I got to watch my sector. But it was absolutely a disgusting day. And I think that just like September 11th resonated with people, January 6th will always resonate with me. Because I've seen how white supremacists were treated. They kicked me off the step of the Supreme Court with my Black Lives Matter flag.
Yep.
I was just sitting on the third step of that building, but you let these guys run in here with that treasonous rebel flag, right? A flag that has been nothing but hatred and so much drama for our race. Go up in here with the rotunda with that nonsense.
Yes.
And it just shows you just that it really was white supremacy on display. And really, you just seeing how far Trump would take it. I knew Trump would take it far, but I had no idea that he would go so far as to, revel in the crowd cheering, hang Mike Pence, and all this other craziness that was going on. And I am no fan of Mike Pence.
No.
But it's absolutely debilitating if you could watch, a vice president be put in danger, right? Like imagine this crowd trying to get to their own vice president. It was just complete madness. And it really showed how broken the response was as well from the National Guard and everything. It really just set us back as a country. It really showed the world that, America really got some serious problems.
To me, the day itself, the actual day itself, the actions that happened that day represent everything that Black, brown, and indigenous people have been talking about happening for a hot minute. Because with all the talk of freedom, all the talk of patriotism, all the talk of liberty and everything, racism always runs rampant through that. It does not matter how it starts. Racism and anti-Semitism will show its ugly head. It does not matter. And it goes back to America's original sin, which is racism. But the other aspect of January 6th that got to me is the actions of the president at the time. Because now we have testimony, according to the January 6th committee, where our former president tried to grab the wheel of his Secret Service vehicle, put his hand around the throat of one of his aides, and we're all supposed to pretend like that didn't happen. You can't make that up. You cannot make that up. And
he was never afraid because he knew they weren't going to hurt him.
He said it. He said it. They did not come here to hurt me. But he had no problem. And if you were to break this whole day down from every standpoint, you would find something wrong. Now, I know a whole lot of people would like to say, well, Mike Pence was a hero. Mike Pence did his job. Vice President Mike Pence did exactly what he was obligated to do. Al Gore had one of the most contested elections in American history, and he presided over his own loss. He did it without any people showing up. He did it without any rioting or things of that nature. He presided over his own election loss. He presided over that. Walter Mondale did it. Dan Quayle has done it. But only in this election of 2020 are we celebrating the fact that Mike Pence did his job. And the only reason we're celebrating the fact that Mike Pence did his job is because his running mate literally said maybe he should be hung. Joker, you wanted to say something? Go ahead, man.
Laughing. I was just laughing.
I want y'all to think about this. Things have been said around this day that have never been uttered by any president, vice president, or chief of staff or anybody in the history of this country. The president of the United States said that his running mate probably or should be hung. He said he wasn't going to talk to him anymore. You're not going to be my friend.
Exactly.
What? When you're not going, I'm not going to be your friend. Not to mention, we have a president whose own attorney general told him, no, there was no election fraud. And how did the president of the United States react to this? By throwing food.
Like a 2-year-old?
Like a 2-year-old. So,
You know,
go ahead.
the mental health crisis that seems to affect everyone.
Yep.
They knew this man was losing touch with reality.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
If I don't win, we're just going to say that we won. We'll just make it so.
This man literally said, frankly, we did win this election.
Yep.
With no empirical proof whatsoever. He called Georgia begging to find votes. He was involved in several plots, and we'll get to the plots in a second. I'm just talking about literally the chief, the CEO of this place at the time, the head, the face, the most powerful man on the face of the earth on January 6, 2021, literally said that his vice president should be hung. His chief of staff is making excuses. There is a whole list of people who were involved in this mess. A whole list. So, I want to talk about...
What's your proof?
Say again?
I said, no, what's your proof?
That's the thing. Because I'll get to the aftermath of this in a second. But the president of the United States would not take a loss. And then he had people who plotted to take this government down. You had Stuart Rhodes from the Oath Keepers, Stuart Rhodes will always get these jokes. Stuart Rhodes will always get these jokes. The man is either, I think it's Harvard or Yale that he's educated. One of the two. Which one is it? I think it's
Is
Yale.
he?
Yes.
I call them straight oath breakers anyway. I never call them by their original name. They're straight oath breakers.
Oath breakers. But this man shot himself in the eye. Stuart Rhodes will always get these jokes.
Wait. That's how he lost it?
Let me tell you. Okay, for everybody who don't know how Stuart Rhodes lost his eye, I'm saying it here on the air right now. I'm going to tell y'all this story. Stuart Rhodes' ex-wife goes on MSNBC. I'll never forget this. She said that he bought thousands of dollars of weapons, but wasn't really good at using them, to the point where he went to a range. Fell on a rock, fell backwards, and shot himself in the eye. He shot himself in the eye. That's how he lost his eye.
Mill Team 6.
That story was, yes, Stuart Rose shot himself in the eye.
That is so on brand for these oath breakers.
This is the man. This is the man who his own family, his 2 daughters and his son, said that he would walk around the house routinely thinking that he was the new George Washington. He was the new Martin Luther King. I'm not making a single one of these things up. I am not making any of this up. He thought of himself as a new revolutionary, a man who shot himself in the eye.
Can I just admit that the first thing that comes to my mind when you say shot yourself in the eye is that movie?
The Christmas movie, yes.
You're going to shoot your
eye out.
Yep.
You're going to shoot your eye out.
Everything, man. That's what I said. Mill Team 6, Vanilla Isis. This is it, right?
So this man who was getting money from, and Victoria's trying not to laugh. I don't know why don't you just laugh, girl. Just laugh. He shot. So Stuart Rhodes, leader of the Oath Keepers, and Enrique Tarrio, leader of the Proud Boys. Can we get into Enrique? Enrique.
You know that one.
Oh, Enrique Tarrio's
he
a
got
snitch.
shaked up in D.C.
Yes. Enrique Tarrio's a snitch. He is an FBI informant.
Yes.
He is an
and they tried to
FBI.
revoke his leadership. They wanted to revoke his leadership because he got stabbed in D.C., man. The founder of the Powerpuff Boys wanted to revoke him. He wanted to revoke his membership because he said he showed weakness by getting stabbed. Because a lot of people who don't go to D.C., they don't understand how rough D.C. is once you leave once you leave that little spot for the tourists, it's straight hood up in there.
It
is. Found out quick. You're not going to come from here. They hate Trump up in there. You found out quickly. You come in there and talk about that Mill Team 6 nonsense, you go get your gangster fool real quick.
I've noticed that you never see Proud Boys or Oath Keeper marches in predominantly black parts of America.
No.
If it's all about the combat, go someplace where you can get this work. Stop playing. Don't.
Yeah, out in Montana, amongst the buffalo and a few hundred head of beef stew, cows.
They get pulled out of dang. What was that group that got ran out of Philly? Right.
That was the Proud Boys got ran out of Philly.
Out of there, man. You gonna get run up out of there. Straight up.
So
the streets will come eat you.
Yes.
So what I want to talk about is how a certain select group of people before the actual transition of power, they did ask President Trump for pardons.
We gonna get to that. The pardons. The pardons.
See, that's culpability right there.
Yes.
Right.
If you do something.
You for a free pass.
Yes.
I know, Daddy. I know I've been a bad girl if I'm asking for a get out of jail free card. Okay?
And look at how many people were begging for him.
Look how many he did. I mean, he pardoned Blackwater, the literal butchers of Baghdad.
Thank you.
He pardoned war criminals. This is like some of the most egregious pardons I've ever seen in my lifetime. Mm-hmm. A complete abuse of power.
And the thing is, these people were plotting this coup, because that's what it comes down to. They were plotting this coup, and then they were like, can he pardon us if this isn't successful? So think about it. They tried to cover their bases. Mark Meadows, Rudy Giuliani. Giuliani was like, I'm not asking for a pardon. Yeah, you did. Giuliani was out there selling pardons. He was out there trying to get that money. He was trying to make a buck off of getting pardons. So here's all these people plotting and scheming to Freedom Day. But just in case it doesn't work, do you think it's possible we can get this pardon off right quick? Because it might not work. So you got Enrique Tarrio, leader of the Proud Boys, who is an FBI informant. Not making that one up either. Him and Stuart Rhodes are meeting. They're meeting in clandestine. Y'all are meeting in a parking lot that somebody is filming. What's clandestine about that? I mean, does anybody remember the video, the behind-the-scenes video, the guys that killed bin Laden? Did anybody see that video? Of
And it means.
What's that?
I know what it means.
What does it mean?
Secretive.
Really secretive.
Right.
They were so secretive that...
Remind me to tell you about the time I met Alex Trebek when I tried out for Team Jeopardy.
There's a story there.
Look.
There's a story there.
Okay, carry on.
Okay, but so these people who swore up and down that they were doing this in secret, this whole group, all these MAGA people, they were so secretive about it. They're meeting in clandestine places in parking lots and Facebook, that they're actually filming themselves going into the Capitol.
Showing up with Civil War sweaters on. Civil War sweaters on. I'm telling you, man, that's why I tell you, man, who goes and films a crime, man? Who does this?
I was just about to say that.
One of the idiots, he was complaining that the FBI was hot on him, right? I'm like, genius. The profile he complaining from literally got the video. One video over of him inside the Capitol. I'm like, Playboy, you might have wanted to delete the other video first before you wonder why they're coming for you, man.
Is it really secretive if you live streaming it? I can't believe they found me. You live streamed it. These people...
Bruh. Did you know that they found me? But yet, it's because of the pictures of me putting my feet on Nancy Pelosi's desk. But, we're not going to say it was that. We're not going to, I just needed that picture, man. But, that they're saying that's how they found me. I don't believe it. I think it's a conspiracy, man.
We got to talk about Chesney. We have to. We have got to talk about the QAnon shaman.
Oh, yes. Boy, he went in there like Conan the Warrior, right? Conan the Destroyer, and then went out like Caillou.
He should, out of all the people, he's a Caillou.
That's what I told him, man. He went from Conan the Destroyer to Caillou. I was like, what? You not ready to do no time, man? You came in there with the spear on the flag.
Bro, he came out like Caillou.
1776, hoorah. And then you melted down, man. Not even 72 hours locked down. You in here crying like Caillou, man. I need some vegan products, please.
This man, I want y'all to understand this. This man, out of all the people who showed up that day, he was the stupidest one of them all. Who is not going to notice a dude painted with a painted face wearing a Viking hat and some fur? Who's not gonna? These were not brilliant people that did this on January 6th. And then he decided, look, if I'm dressed up like that, I'm staying away from anything because I'm visible. People can see me. I'm wearing a Viking hat, a furry Viking hat. People can see me. So I'm avoiding everything and anything, period. But this idiot, not only did he dress up like that, not only was he filmed yelling, hang Mike Pence, but then he gets to the Senate floor. Oh.
Yep.
He gets to the Senate floor. And he gets on the foot. What are you doing? You put yourself in that position. But then he's like, how did anybody notice me? These people, this was not the cream of the crop that tried to take down this government.
Yeah. But Trump say he surrounded himself with the finest people.
And the thing is, you have a media, or you have a media apparatus in America who really try to pretend like these people had a legitimate beef. Now think about this, and I said this, my wife has said it since it's happened. If these people had done that for healthcare, I'd have been right there with them.
Straight up.
If they had been taking on the federal government to get a raise in the minimum wage. We've had enough. It's been $7.25 since 2009, and damn it, we gonna make it $15, or y'all ain't gonna, like, you know.
How about not even just a raise for minimum wage, but how about just straight up universal basic income?
Oh, that would have, yes. If there had been a January 6th for universal basic income, I'd have been there. I'd have got arrested, but I'd have been there. But these people, they did this. They did this for Donald John Trump. I never want a single.
Don.
The J stands for genius.
That's it.
My
Genius just
God.
starts with a J, ladies and gentlemen. not a G.
Oh,
Like a god.
he
And is a psychotic, delusional,
4-year-old.
these visions of grandiose God. He thinks he's, oh my God, dig a trench for all of them.
but that's
They're
the thing.
not.
Of
Yeah.
course they
I
are.
mean, they literally prayed to the man.
They
Prayed
pray.
to the man. My man was in there about to get rolled up by the cops.
Oh, I saw.
Lord,
Yes.
help me,
Please,
Lord
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Save me,
That's
Donald
amazing. I
Trump.
made that a
Save
move
me,
myself.
Donald Trump.
Yes.
Yes.
Donald
they,
Trump,
they
please.
busted his window and everything. He's still like Donald Trump.
Donald
please
Trump,
save me,
please,
save
please.
Help me.
But
Dude.
the one that
Please save
The-
us.
the
When
one
are
that-
you back?
President Trump.
Overlord uses that video quite often.
No,
Oh
hey,
my
I got it.
goodness.
I love
On
it so
Twitch.
much. And
Hey,
Twitch,
hey,
it's
that's
fantastic.
it. 3,000 Magateers. We play it all day for you.
Look, the one that got me this week was Pam Hemphill, that old lady. Now, the old lady who days before January 6th had some sort of large caliber weapon in her hand, she's on her way to Washington, D.C. Now, when it comes time for you to hit this 60 days in federal prison, she got the nun's outfit head thing on, where she's like, I just want people to pray for me. And nah, son. Nah.
That same energy.
Keep
shit.
that same energy.
Keep that same energy.
I want
Going
to.
out like Elizabeth from Knoxville. We're supposed to be doing the raid the Capitol. We're having a revolution.
Yes, I
And
want
she
to
got
see
hit
that.
with a little bit of spray, and she crying all.
Oh,
I'm like, girl, you folded off a little bit of spray.
look, and then you got Ashley Babbitt, who again,
That's it.
there's a bunch of people that want me to feel sorry for Ashley Babbitt. I do
Oh
not.
man, come on, you know
I don't.
Tequila heroes and
She
heroes.
got exactly what she wanted, and she said it herself. She said she was willing to die for Trump.
Okay.
Hey, wish granted.
Hey,
Wish granted, man.
look,
Because
Washington
she
D.C.
knew better. You served in the Air Force for 14 years.
Yes.
You know what an oath is. You
Yes.
decide to break your oath for that tangerine god of yours, and you paid the price, man. So, hey, tell Rush Limbaugh I said, what up? You
And
know?
my thing is always going to be, I'm with you until you do something stupid. Ashley Babbitt was a member of the veterans community until she decided to take her behind up to the Capitol, break a window, climb through, and she got herself a souvenir that she'll never forget. What you want me to do
Her
about it?
husband in California drove cross country at that.
She,
Who drives cross country, man? Leaving your family in Cali, you driving all the way to D.C., man.
for
Talking
what?
about from darkness to light. I'm like, girl, are you
Okay.
serious right now?
Okay.
I mean, if you read her badass crazy messages, everyone know where this was heading.
Mm-hmm. They did.
Honestly, point in my life, if it's more than 30 minutes in the car for me, it's a no.
Hey, I mean, that girl took a straight road trip, right? That takes some planning, man.
But that's what a lot of them did. A lot of and again, if we were talking about something that helped the entirety of the American people, I would have been right there. If we were talking about universal health care, if we were talking about, like Joker said, a universal basic income, something that helped the entirety of America, I would have been right there. The problem is, these people really honestly thought that Either they were going to succeed, in which case we were going to end up with a dictator, or they weren't going to succeed, in which case they were going to get a pardon. Now, if you flash backwards 6 months from that day when they had protesters in Washington, D.C., they made sure to have the National Guard out there. The National Guard surrounding all of the Lincoln Memorial, surrounding this, which goes back to that idea of America's original sin, which is racism. Anytime black and brown people protest for a black life, we got to have the armed SWAT teams and the National Guard. Yep. But here are MAGA people. A bunch of MAGA people show up, and the only resistance they're met was by these police. And one of the police officers said that he cannot pass he passes Republicans in the hallway now. They don't speak to him.
Exactly.
They say nothing to him, which goes to show you that they know. Those police officers, now mind you, I got my problems with the cops. Have had them, will continue to have them. I ain't gonna front. But on that particular day, when you're getting beat with when you're getting sprayed with bear mace, beaten with American flag poles, having your own shield taken from you, having your gun they're threatening to take your gun and shoot you with it. When you got all of that going on and you don't see any of what they would normally have happening if the shade of people was a little bit darker than these folks sitting here, I would be like that too. Like, what do you have to say to me? Officer Brian Snitnick. He wasn't, and I love the revisionist historyers. The revision history people are, he wasn't killed by the protest. No, he wasn't, but he died that day.
He died. I tell you what, had he not been attacked, he wouldn't have had the heart attack. Exactly. That's why I tell people, so it was definitely indirect. And that's why I tell you right there, if you can watch an officer fall in the line of duty, come on, man. Mm-hmm. And you tell me that he died of natural causes after getting sprayed and everything else.
Thank you.
Are you kidding me, man?
No.
But this is how they operate, and people believe that nonsense.
Mm-hmm. Because
they would have mowed us down if Black Lives Matter. They flew helicopters, military helicopters against protesters in D.C. Mm-hmm. Flying down there, man. You can't even, medevac helicopters are using to try to break up the crowd with rotor wash. Come on, it's not even the thing that you can do. These guys got in trouble for that nonsense, and it just shows you the glaring hypocrisy.
Go ahead, Victoria.
Can we give a shout out to the woman who had the hanger over her head and they pepper sprayed her and she never put her hands down?
Yeah, she was hardcore, man. She was hardcore. She was hardcore.
Can we just give a moment to the power?
Hey, that's that energy we need, though. That's the energy we need.
Yes.
For this cold civil war.
And that to me is indicative of what this is America's biggest problem as it stands right now when it comes to January 6th. There are so many people all throughout social media, all throughout regular media, all through right-wing media who are doing their damnedest to try to separate. They're trying to push the narrative. We're getting the Daughters of the Confederacy in real time right now. They are doing everything in their power to change the narrative when it comes to January 6th. Well, BLM burnt down the city. Which city? Which city is a smoldering husk? None.
Rosewood. You want to count Rosewood and
Rosewood, Greenwood.
Greenwood. That's it.
Yeah, like you want to.
Only black cities burned in this country.
Mm-hmm. So they're trying to do to January 6th what the Daughters of the Confederacy did to the Civil War. And the problem that I'm having with when it comes to our Justice Department is we should see a lot more indictments by now. Am I the only one thinks that? Am I the only one?
I was wondering, where is the AG? Where is he at? He should be like a pit bull trying to get off the leash right now. I get you got the foot soldiers, but where is all this? January 6th is a date that will forever live in infamy. Mm-hmm. No matter how Mill Team 6 try to spin this and Fox Fake News try to spin this, it will forever live in infamy. The enemies of the United States of America watched our weaknesses be pulled back. Mm-hmm. They watched white supremacy and racism own the day. And supposedly the superpower with the greatest military in the history of the world could not stop Mule Team 6 from sacking the Capitol.
You would think at this point there would be something. There would be some. You would think with the amount of people that filmed that thing that day, you would see a lot more indictments. And my thing is always going to be, why are they getting 60 days? Why are they only getting 30 days?
Probation.
Probate. What is that? When you enter a federal building illegally, especially when you're trying to overthrow, because that's all this was. This was a coup.
Yep.
And I think anybody involved in a coup should be getting more.
Maxed out.
Yes.
Maxed out to send an example that no one else should do it again.
Yep. You should be people should be like, okay, try it again. Here, we're about to make an example of you, which brings me back to Donald Trump. Now, I don't know if anybody else believes this, but I do. Donald Trump in the next, I'm gonna give it 3 months. In the next 3 months, Donald Trump is going to announce that he's running for president again. There's no doubt in my mind that he's going to do it. That's why he's walking around here with that crap-eating grin on his face, because he knows. I think it's going to be a toss-up between him and DeSantis,
DeSantis is going to be his partner.
And that's
DeSantis.
exactly what's going to happen.
Jeff DeSantis, yep.
DeSantis is going to end up.
It's not going to be DeSantis against Trump.
No.
Or who's going to be the president. It's literally going to be Trump with DeSantis.
Yeah,
as
I
his
think.
running mate.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to end up happening. Now, here's the
The
problem.
unholy trinity.
Yep.
This is the thing. You look at this. This is the reason why you look at the Florida elections going on for governor right now, and you don't see DeSantis literally like giving two craps about what his polling looks like right now against his opponent, because he knows what's coming and he knows what's going to happen. And the media and everything else like that are playing it off that Trump is literally pushing him away because they don't agree on certain things. But what's really happening is that they're playing together, and then it's going to be Trump goes, I'm running for president and I already know who's going to be with me, DeSantis. So he doesn't need to be governor of Florida anymore, period.
And the thing is, if DeSantis and Trump, if there's a Trump DeSantis ticket and there's not an indictment for Donald Trump, the way America sits right now, that man will win. As sad as it is for me to say, Donald Trump will win. And one of the reasons I say that is because between people trying to, Daughters of the Confederacy that day, so many people who are still believing that man lost that election. Like I made a video about this on TikTok. The easiest way to know whether or not to have a conversation with somebody is to ask them who won the 2020 election. If they say it was stolen, you ain't even got to talk to them.
Exactly. That's my qualifier question.
Yep.
Before I talk to any MAGA cult member, I ask them that question. And if you fail that, click, get out of here. As a matter of fact, my moderator's already given the boot, man. I already got the screen running. The man hammer coming down, man. I'm hitting with that ultra combo.
You got to get rid of them. But these people and the stories that are starting to come out, I don't know if anybody else saw that one. The one with the woman that said that Donald Trump put SpaceX in space and got all the votes from Donald Trump that got changed to Joe Biden. These narratives are out there.
Yes.
That is why I said if that man and Ron DeSantis run against Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they're going to win. Sadly, they're going to win. Unfortunately, if Merrick Garland does not do his job, Donald Trump is going to get away with this.
Yes, he needs to be blacklisted from the government at the bare minimum. He needs to be blacklisted from the government. Because
the grift is still going. He's still taking money from people.
Yes, $250 million he's raised.
Like we just gonna allow. And when you listen to the January 6th committee meetings, when you listen to the hearings, you get a sense that it's bigger than just that day. It's much bigger than just that particular day. These people who did not get caught, because they hadn't caught everybody, there was 15,000 people out there. They've arrested 7,500?
Some of them ran for Congress. So
yes.
We got three people here in Virginia that was out there that day that is now sitting in the halls of Congress in Virginia.
Yes.
So a lot of them leveling up off of this.
You got Doug Mastriano, the guy that's running for governor of the state of Pennsylvania. He was there. You've got several people. So it's almost as if they've already realized, well, there's not going to be a problem for what we did. So we might as well run for public office. And this next wave, especially coming in November, the people who were there at January 6th, who are now running for seats in state senates and U.S. Senate and U.S. Congress and things of that nature, if these people win, what is that saying about our justice system? That you can literally go to a coup and then win. You can literally try to overthrow the federal government, and rather than getting the sentences that you deserve,
The
you win.
executioner's acts.
Yeah, instead of getting the maximum amount of time you should get, you get elected. Go ahead, Joker.
Here's the funny thing too, as well, is that you look at not even just people who were at the January 6th insurrection who are getting elected to these public offices and to these state, local, and federal, who are running. You also have a lot of people who are now coming out having that individual sponsor them and are leading the races in key states for people who are actually trying to help get something done with the January 6th insurrection. Because one, we were talking about it earlier before the show started, Liz Cheney, she's down 22 points to the person running against her because Trump sponsored the other person, because they know she's going against him by doing this January 6th hearing, and that's her key focus. She can't do for you in the state of Wyoming what I can because she's too busy trying to be mean to Trump.
Mm-hmm. We are seeing maybe the insurrection part on January 6th was the physical aspect of it, but we are starting to watch what is happening locally and nationally when it comes to our elections. Now, we have an opposition party in the Democratic Party, but for some reason, these people are not paying very close attention to what is going on. You see it. If you are an avid follower, if you are an avid person on TikTok, you see this. This is not anybody making this up. These people desperately believe that Trump lost the election because it was stolen, and they're going to get it back for him. You have a Supreme Court that is about to take up a case that could effectively take away the vote. Because what happens is, according to this case, if the Supreme Court rules in these other people's favor, no matter what the will of the people is, the elected leaders can overturn that.
Oh, Democrat one? I don't like that. So I want the Republican to be the one who takes office. So guess what? I don't care what they say. He's the winner or she's the winner. It doesn't matter. Democrat? No. White supremacist, fascist, Republican right here.
Sounds like a perfect recipe for civil war right there.
That's what the ultimate. I think ultimately that's what the goal is. I think ultimately the goal is a second civil war. Now, I don't say that lightly. I don't. I don't say it jokingly. I say it truthfully. There is a true push to reenact the Civil War. That one of the very first things we said when this show started today was, for some reason, all these MAGA people who wanted the president back, racism just so happened to pop up. How did it get there? It's always there. It's always there. It is America's original sin. And if these people get a chance to put Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis in power by having an election that they can overturn thanks to the Supreme Court, and even if that doesn't work, we get, this time Joe Biden and Kamala Harris get 100 million votes as opposed to Trump 75. These people are more than willing to burn this country to the ground in order to elect a dictator.
It brings back to what we were talking about last week during the show when we had Captain Dadpool on here. It's Christian nationalism. This literally fascism is taking over. Is it exactly what they want? We get Trump and DeSantis back in office, and then the Republicans can do whatever the Republicans want to because they own SCOTUS, they own all the elected officials, they can do whatever they want. It's literally Christian nationalism and fascism taking over, period, point blank simple. 2022 is the most important voting aspect that we've ever had to deal with. Like, if we don't want fascism to take over, we have to vote. But here's the funny thing, if Supreme Court does exactly what the Supreme Court is probably about to do, it's done.
And it's one of those things that if the Democratic Party was paying attention, to what is going on the ground, not in the halls of power, Pelosi and Schumer and all the rest of them getting out of that bubble and asking people on the ground, if they saw this, if they saw it, you would think that would be the number one priority. They would be taking these January 6 hearings as seriously as a lot of Americans are. Because if the Democrats do not get their heads out of their four-point of contact, ass, whatever you want to say, if they do not get them out of it, we are going to end up with a fascist dictator in 2024. There's a whole lot of people that want Joe Biden to step aside. I don't want him to step aside. I want him to stand up to what is actually happening. We watched what they did when the SCOTUS leaks the fact that they're going to get rid of abortion. And everybody said the same thing, and people have been saying this for 50 years. Had they codified Roe, we would not have had to worry about this at all. Had they codified it and turned it into law. But everybody passed the buck. Okay, so it's abortion rights. You really don't care, whatever. This time, if they do not do something about Donald John Trump and that man runs again and the SCOTUS does what they're going to do with this next legislative whatever, if they don't do something about this man, if Merrick Garland does not arrest this man and put him in jail, and if somebody does not go to jail for this, and I don't mean the Pam Hemp Hills, I want Mark Meadows, I want Rudy Giuliani, I want
Kunal Taylor Greene,
yes, I want
Robert E. Lee,
yes,
all these clowns inside of Congress that's been doing his dirt.
Yes,
because that's it. That's his acolytes that's trying to keep him in power.
Yes,
and anybody who asks that question, in the sci-fi movies, everybody goes back to 1940s Germany. Right, and they'll be like, what would you do? What would you do? We don't have to ask that question. The entire world is watching 1942 Germany right now in the United States of America. And that's why I've always said we are in a cold civil war, people. This is an actual cold civil war.
It is.
The only reason it's not hot right now because the military stayed out of it. Right? And now it's coming down to getting those acolytes and Trump out of power. Without that, the more power the Republican Party gains, the closer to a hot war we're going to become.
And that's what they're banking on.
Yeah.
Mitch McConnell, I think at some point Mitch McConnell had control of this beast. I do. I think when he told Obama that he was not going to seat Merrick Garland for the Supreme Court, I think Mitch McConnell was at the height of his powers. He was. He was at the height of his powers. He thought he had controlled the beast. Then Trump gets elected. Now McConnell and all the rest of them did not want that man in the White House, but he got elected. And they thought, judges, we get our judges. Tax breaks, we get our tax breaks. Mitch McConnell thought he controlled this animal. He did. And then that monster got loosed. That beast got loose. And when it got loose, the problem happens that now you can't control it. Oh, this is great that you got your judges, Mitch. Congratulations, Mitch, you got your judges. But we're almost about to lose our democracy. Hey, you got those tax breaks you've always wanted, Mitch. You and Paul Ryan, congratulations. But look what you unleashed.
Yeah.
Look what you unleashed.
Hey, speaking of Paul Ryan, he dipped, right? He dipped. And
He
you know
couldn't
why?
wait to get
Because
out.
He saw the fascism, right? He saw the fascism. And I was like, my God, man, if y'all made Paul Ryan supposed to be the up-and-coming star, walk away, and that's exactly what happened. He had to walk away from it because they knew that it was out of control. They love that energy, but guess what? Now they can't control it.
You can't,
because the crazies are now running it.
There's no chapter in the Fountainhead or Atlas Shrugged for this one. There ain't one. I know there's a whole lot of Ayn Rand fans, and Ayn Rand thought. Did she talk about this? Because there's selfish. There's the belief in selfishness, and then there's overthrow the damn government. I don't think there's a chapter in the Fountainhead called insurrection. I don't. But knowing that this animal is now off the leash, knowing that it is no longer controlled, Mitch McConnell is just sitting there watching it burn. He can't, there's nothing he can do.
No, he don't want to get burned up. And they see the problem for Mitch and them is they're willing to eat their own. Right, look at Liz Cheney, what they're doing to her. Adam Kinzinger, they willing to eat. Hey, if you fall out of line, you're a rhino.
Yes.
And you on the target list.
What was his name?
And now they were like, oh, man, these boys are serious. And so now it's out of control for them.
They cannot call this monster back. So what they're stuck with is, this animal controls the party. They vote for the people who are going to be Republicans.
The Knight of the Long Sword.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Exactly. Precisely right there.
Yes. So now they're stuck in just as bad of a place as the Democrats are, because the Democrats' problem is, how do you fight this monster? The Republicans' problem is, how do we control it again? You can't, this thing is gone. This thing, William F. Buckley, one of the most respected conservative voices in American history. When Buckley saw what the Republican Party was, it was filled with racists, it was filled with homophobes, it was filled with less educated country corn-pone Dixiecrats.
Religious zealots.
Religious zealots. Buckley came in and cleared house. He's like, y'all got to go. Y'all have got to go. Y'all got to get up out of here. He streamlined conservatism for a broader audience. Goldwater is a Buckley Republican, and Reagan is a Goldwater Republican, which means he was a Buckley Republican. They thought, this is the sort of Republican Party that we wanted. And it might have worked. It might have worked. Eisenhower Republicans, the fiscally conservative, strong, liberal, strong, socially liberal kind of Republicans, yeah, they might have worked at one point. When they let Trump into that office, when they let Trump in the party, because he made George W. Bush look like FDR.
Made him look like George Washington.
Made him look like George Washington. Made him look just like George Washington.
Yeah. So and he said he don't even listen, and I supported Bush, right? Even through all of F-ups, man. Mm-hmm. And this man says he don't even recognize the Republican Party.
The party is gone.
You know it's bad when Bush is telling you, I do not recognize the party anymore, and I can't tell the difference between them and the terrorists overseas.
You have to, there's a special place in hell where you can make George W. Bush look presentable next to Trump. I didn't like any of Bush's policies, and some of them I thought they were downright criminal. But compared to Trump,
yes.
But that's the face of the party now. That's the face of the party.
He makes Nixon look like Mother Teresa.
Yeah. Oh.
People talk about Nixon. I'm like, man, hold on. Nixon ain't got nothing on Trump. What Trump said would be compared to Nixon. No, Nixon should have been like, I can't be compared to that bum.
No.
Because he took Watergate and changed the whole thing, man. This MAGA insurrection is a whole nother level.
You can't Nixon, if Nixon tried to do what Trump did, they'd have hung him.
Yes,
He
would
would've
have definitely got. They would have removed him. They would have had.
Oh, yeah.
Removed him.
They wouldn't even have waited for no impeachment. Goldwater would have been up there in the White House, but you got to go. You got to go today, and you need to go to Panama. Don't stop. Don't go to California. Go wherever you flying to. Get a connecting ticket and fly up out of the country. But that it could win again. These committee meetings, these committee hearings are more important than a lot of people give them credit for. Because if this man can do this again, there is nothing stopping him.
No, he said himself he gonna be far worse. The man said if he get back in there, he gonna be far worse.
There is
two impeachments just made him worse.
Yes,
and if you look at, that's why I respect Cheney, because I even though I do not agree with her politics, she is willing to fall on her sword to speak the truth.
And that's the craziest part. Out of all of this, this made Liz Cheney she is literally the
conscience of the Republican
yes,
Party. I would have never thought that happened. My wildest dream.
Never.
I would have lost hella money.
Never.
Hella money.
Never. I said this before the show started. If you would have told me that Dick Cheney's little girl, Dick Cheney, who I've always considered the Dark Lord of the Sith,
straight up,
I said that man,
powerful VP.
Yes.
History.
I said that man has a hamster wheel in his chest with a small Guatemalan child in it. That's how evil Dick Cheney is. And his daughter is literally leading the vanguard against her party, turning into the dumb version of the I don't even want to call it a Reich, the dumb Reich, whatever. Liz Cheney is standing on the vanguard of that.
Yes.
Liz Cheney.
I'm seriously going to.
They're going to burn her whole career down to stand on the right side of history.
Adam Kidd.
And I respect her for
yes,
that.
you have to respect her for that. You have to. That woman is willing to literally burn up her whole career to save America. The problem is
exactly what's happening right now.
They just don't care. They don't care, man. They're going to throw us in alliance and keep moving.
Yes. Liz Cheney, and the thing is, her and Kinzinger, and I remember there's another one that left the Republican Party and became an independent. I can't think of his name right now. But it's all going to be a sacrifice for nothing.
Yeah.
We're literally in the age of technology now. So, like, if you go back to the night of the long knives, where these big pieces of the Nazi party were getting assassinated left and right for Hitler. We're now in a social technology time that it's not assassination. What they're doing is they're character degrading people, and they're getting killed in polling and everything else like that, so they can get their pieces to create the fascism that they want.
Which is the scariest aspect of it, because these people are willing to burn anyone.
Yes.
But they're willing to burn anyone for again. Let me reset the show. Let me reset.
Lord Diaper Don.
Let me reset the show. It is
1 minute till top of the hour.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and do it now. It is 9:58 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8:59 p.m. Central. You are listening to The Villain's View. I am Thomas Bishop. I am known as the Villain. I am joined by Joker. I am joined by Victoria. And I am joined by our special guest, Mr. U.S. Army Overlord Big Red One himself, Union Gang in the house. And we are talking about the January 6th insurrection. Now, going into the second hour, what can these people do about it? Now, we've already established what's going to happen. We've already established that January 6th was as my brother said, the Cold Civil War. Now we have to ask, what can we do to stop this? So I'm gonna open the floor. Somebody, Victoria, I'll start with you.
Go ahead, Vic.
Go ahead, Victoria. Tell me, what can America do to stop this?
People have got to vote, 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 and we have got to help people get to voting booths. They have made that impossible.
They have. They have. They have literally turned it into Squid Game to vote. We are, and we knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. That's not a shock. When Joe Biden wins Georgia, everybody got to reset. Now we got to fix it. There was a problem. We got to fix it. And you're right. Voting is essential. It is the most essential aspect of it. It's the one thing that every American can do. Joker, go ahead.
It's not just voting for your federal elections. We also need to vote for the state elections and the local elections as well, because these are also areas in which voting counts and is important, not just at the federal level. We all have to understand that it is more than just a federal level thing, that we have to vote for our state. We have to vote for our local. We have to do all of these. We have to get organizations together. We have to build as a community. We have to do a whole lot of things in order to do this. Voting is very essential and very important, but there are so many other aspects and things that we have to do as a society if we do not want fascism to take over.
And I agree with you. Me personally, and this is just what I think should happen. Americans got to get smarter. We have got to get smarter about this. There is no both sides to this situation.
That part.
Because I know there's a whole lot of leftists, progressives, and independents that want to sit out 2022. They want to sit out 2024 because they believe both parties are the same. This is what got us Trump in the first place in 2016. Now,
exactly.
I did not like Hillary Clinton. I did not, because she still is falling under the template of Bill Clinton's New Democrat. Hey, we're going to be just as ugly as the conservatives, but we just won't use the N-word or say the F slur towards gay people. So I did not like Hillary Clinton. However,
hey, was she right or was she right?
She was absolutely right.
She was 100% right.
And I believed her then.
She was 100% right. She was absolutely right. And
now,
that...
listen, I gotta give a little gossip, but we gotta have a little estrogen up in here.
Please do.
On the down low, like she is truly low-key lesbian. Right? Old lesbian.
Victoria out of left field.
Consider she has some kids, right?
She's married Joseph.
Love you. Yeah, whatever.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Victoria, and that's what she does.
She comes out of left field, boy. That I didn't see that bomb coming. I didn't see that one.
I did.
She called it, though. One thing I'll tell Hillary called it, right? She called about the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
She called about Trump's character.
Yep.
She called everything. And remember, guys, she won the popular vote.
Yes.
Let's not forget that. The only reason that Lord Trump got in there is because that archaic, outdated electoral college. And that probably needs to be destroyed, and we go to a straight popular vote system.
That is something.
There is no way in the world that we let this guy pick 3 Supreme Court justices and didn't have the will of the American people.
Mm-hmm. That to me, that is something I want to see somebody say. I want to see somebody say that out loud. I want to see that. I'm serious. I want to see somebody say that out loud. It's time for the Electoral College to go.
It has to die. It has to. And even to the point we may have to amend the Constitution. I mean, let's get out of here. It shouldn't even be an issue to vote. It should be voting should be automatic.
Mm-hmm.
It should be just like everyone talk about this 2A and it should be a God-given right to vote by any method you choose, never to be infringed upon.
That's where
your bodily autonomy should be never. It should never be in question.
Never,
because it was never put in question for the straight white males when that Constitution was being framed.
And that to me,
we're still following a Constitution that's 230-something years old.
Exactly. It needs to be updated. One of the founding
fathers literally said every 12, 18 years.
Every 12 to 18 years, we need to update
Run that one and to grow with the time and what is going on as a society. But we are still following a document from 230-something years ago.
But that's the thing. Yep. It's the way it is because people revered that document so much that they're not really looking at it as it's supposed to be a living document. It is supposed to change with the times. because when the Second Amendment was written, you had a musket. Now you got an AR-15 and laser sights.
Humans.
Exactly. So go ahead.
But just in time for Christmas now, there's the JR-15.
I'm not. You know what? I'm not gonna go there.
You know,
that ain't gonna do nothing but make me mad. That I got grandkids that are older. Come on, man.
Me infuriates me to no end.
But that to me,
kids are gonna get killed because of that.
But they don't care.
It's Trump, God, and guns. And notice how I said Trump before God, because this is what they do. That's all you got to do to be in a Republican Party now.
About a government on how they treat its women and its children.
This is not a government
and
designed
ours
for that.
Does not give a flying capital F about women, period, regardless of race.
They don't.
Period.
They stripped you. They made women second-class citizens overnight.
Yes.
And there's nothing stopping them from going further. Regardless of what these goons tell you, the power they hold right now in the Supreme Court, they could go for anything they want to. Man, They could outlaw gay marriage. They could outlaw
contraception,
same-sex marriage. They could outlaw interstate travel. They can do all of that, and no other branch of the service can stop them without impeaching them. And without impeaching them clowns, they can do what they want over there, because guess what? Trump showed you can get away with it.
And if that man comes back into the White House, it will get worse. No matter how bad you think it is right now, no matter how bad you think America is right to this day, it will get worse.
If he gets in there, democracy dies.
It does.
I think the America that we know, it dies. It becomes something much darker, and we become a threat to the rest of the world. If we don't have a civil war, if the cold civil war don't turn hot, we definitely going to have somebody else getting in here. Canada's already predicted that we fall to right-wing extremism by the year 2030.
Yes.
That's 8 years, people.
That's 8 years.
And I'm not giving it that long. If everything goes their way in 2022 and 2024.
And the thing is, as bad as Trump is, as bad as that man is, DeSantis can be worse.
Yes, because he's more intelligent.
Yes.
That's the real problem. See, Trump could have did a lot more dirt, but he's an idiot.
He's a bag of dumb.
He could have kept Mathis there and let Mathis run because really, General Mathis gave him all the credibility he ever needed as far as the military. He could have let him run the military and do all the dumb stuff. He would have easily coasted into a second term, right? The problem is Trump is such a fool, man. He's such a pathological liar. He lies even when the truth would serve him. He could have just came clean about COVID.
He could have.
But he decided he didn't want to mess with the QAnon cult following, so he pushed the conspiracies.
And that's the other part of it. These people seem to believe that Donald Trump is going to be anointed by JFK and JFK Jr.
Yes.
And they're voting. We should not have a democracy so fragile that every election has to be the most important election that we've ever had. We shouldn't. We should have codified some of this by now. If the Second Amendment, if the Constitution is to be reevaluated because it's a living document, that should have happened already. Here we are on the precipice of losing the democracy that we've been touting to the rest of the world. And it should not be that a man so dangerous as Donald Trump has the ability to run again.
Or DeSantis.
But
here's the thing. Think about
DeSantis,
it.
exactly.
You guys said it. He is smart.
He's
intelligent.
And
Trump
younger.
is dumb, but DeSantis is smart. Trump is old. Trump is about to die.
Yeah. Let's just call it what it is.
Who do
God
you have
willing.
running with you that will take over as soon as he dies?
That man,
the man who's got the brain.
Yes, that man has enough idiocracy in his head to where any idea that he comes up with is a bad idea. Donald Trump
starting to live in that movie.
Donald Trump is a con man. He is a used car salesman with a lot full of lemons. That is all he's ever been. That is all he has ever been.
Straight up.
But he has inspired very sinister people to run for public office. We thought that the guy in Pennsylvania, the child molester, we thought he was bad. I'm going to run for... No, he was in Virginia. Can't think of his name. They did a YouTube video on him. We thought he was bad. We thought the Arthur cat in Chicago, the avowed white supremacist, we thought he was bad. We thought he was bad because they were out and they were open thanks to Trump. But there are forces worse than these people. They are much worse, and they're going to show up they're not going to show up wearing SS gear. They're not going to show up with a manifesto that's 80 pages long talking about how, biblically
Great replacement theory.
Yeah, biblically you should be able to marry a 12-year-old and the brown people are going to take over. Those aren't the people I worry about. The ones I worry about are the ones that come in and they're the very MAGA cult, but they're smart. Our democracy should not be leaning this hard on a thread to where we have to worry about these people. We shouldn't. We should not be worrying about what is the next Trump. What is the next Boebert? What is the next Marjorie Taylor? We should not be worrying about this. But our democracy has been so co-opted. Like I said, Mitch McConnell wanted tax cuts.
1%.
Yeah, he
1% controlling them.
Yeah, he wanted tax cuts and judges. And he unleashed a rabid pit bull on America. Now we got to wonder, who is this pit bull sleeping with? What are these babies about to look like? If you had a dog that had bullet wounds and stab wounds and hated humans and was biting everybody. That was what Trump was. What's next? What is next? And why? Go ahead.
He literally has the unintelligent doing everything for him right now. So when everything gets done from the unintelligent individuals, that's when we're going to see who he's been sleeping with. We're going to see the intelligent people show up and show their face. And they're going to be the big MAGA ones that we did not know about, the cultish ones, but they're going to be the ones who have the intelligence that you would have never guessed would have been a part of this.
Look at Josh Hawley and the other people who voted to overturn the election.
Josh Hawley.
We still got them. We still got a lot of people out here in Congress who can wield that thing and go on it because they're there for the power. They're there for the power over everything.
Josh Hawley is a perfect example of it.
Yes.
Josh Hawley is exactly what I am talking about. He's not dumb Ted Cruz. He's not old Mitch McConnell. He's got the
5 times to get my GED, Lauren Boebert.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yes, he is. Has anybody ever watched the Omen movies? All 3 of them?
Yes,
the original ones.
Multiple times.
I love Sam Neill in Jurassic Park, but Sam Neill will always be Damian Thorne to me. Always. Because he was Damian Thorne as a grown man. Here's the son of the devil. He's charismatic. He's good looking. He's rich. He's powerful. He's the son of the devil. Then I look at Josh Hawley. Josh Hawley has that same smugness. Trump with a better suit. Go ahead, Victoria. Go ahead.
And an Ivy League education.
Go ahead, Victoria.
One of my all-time cinematic favorite scenes from a movie is when Sam Neill gets out of his little Jeep or whatever. They're chasing the guy and he's got that pack of damn dogs and they face off on the bridge and Sam Neill just says 2 words and you're like, oh,
yes.
He says him.
Yes.
And the dogs go and you're like, holy crap, what a crappy way to die.
But that's
one of my favorite.
Yeah. I love that film. But that is what I'm talking about. We got Trump and he unleashed this. Trump unleashed this. So the next Trump or the next MAGA head
Or if he gets back in there.
Or if he
They
gets
still
back in there.
praying to him.
Yeah, they're still looking at him like he's a
Still
cash
bending the
cow.
knee, kissing the ring.
Yeah.
They're going to, and when he dies, they're still gonna pray to him because he was the one who brought us to this.
Yes.
He's the beginning.
He let
of
them.
this.
Yes, he let them take the hoods off and put the red hats on proudly.
Now,
Exactly.
Say yes.
And it's the thing, like, Hallie is the intelligent one out of the unintelligent that we see. We see Lauren Boebert. We see Marjorie. I think there's Jewish space lasers causing wildfire.
Train wreck
And,
Green.
you know, you've got Matt, I like underage everything, Gates, and you got these unintelligent individuals, but then you have Hallie sitting in the background who's just pressing buttons, man.
yes.
But all of them up for re-election soon. See,
Hallie-
people have
Hallie won't be up for re-election until 2024.
Yeah. We got to mobilize people.
They got Eric Greitens in my home state of Missouri. This will show you what I'm talking about.
The Rhino Hunt.
Yeah.
He went from SEAL Team 6 to Meal Team 6.
Yes. This
We're
man.
hunting rhinos.
Yeah. This idiot, the former governor of my home state of Missouri, who had an affair, who beat his wife, who was forced to resign, and is now rhino hunting in an ad.
Yeah.
So
The top candidate for your Senate seat.
exactly, he's an idiot. But you put Greetings takes over for Roy Blunt, and you have Josh Hawley there. Josh Hawley will run for president, and Josh Hawley will probably win because he is everything Trump is not. He's just as bad. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
He is just
They're morally
as bad.
bankrupt.
More completely spiritually bankrupt. But Howley's the good-looking, young,
Polished. Yeah.
polished. He is Damian Thorne. That's what I'm afraid of. Donald Trump is either going to win or not. Ron DeSantis, I called him Build-A-Bear blockhead. And I will continue to say so. Ron DeSantis is an idiot. But he's a useful idiot.
Yep.
Donald Trump gets reelected and has that massive heart attack from eating that damn chicken at McDonald's. Well, now we got Ron DeSantis as president. Go ahead, Joker.
That made me think of something. That just made me think of something too as well. It may not, like, he may have DeSantis run with him, but at the same time, when Trump passes away, we were just talking about that smart individual. What if it is that they make it seem like DeSantis will take over, but it's really like Howley, the guy who's been pressing the buttons all in the background this entire time? Because we don't really want the dumb, because he might be smart, but he's not as intelligent.
Because you think about it, Mitch McConnell is not, at this point, he is the Senate minority leader for a reason. Even if they take over the Senate in November, Mitch McConnell is not going to have as much power as he thinks he does. Because he's going to have to answer to the MAGA crowd. Whatever you want.
And they hate him.
They can't stand him.
They hate him.
They cannot stand. Ted Cruz has been kissing as much ass as humanly possible.
I've never seen somebody, go out here and mutilate themselves since the Game of Thrones, man.
That man.
Since Rick on Game of Thrones. You see how he went out there and let Tucker just decimate him? Right?
I'm still mad at him.
The lies in front of our face.
Yes, I'm still mad at him for allowing Donald Trump to say something about his wife and him not doing anything. But that's Ted Cruz. Ted
Cruz, man, ran to Cancun, man.
Raphael, I'm not even calling him Ted. Like, Raphael just does not, he's an idiot. Man.
Exactly.
Out moral.
We have a word for what Ted Cruz is.
And that word is
pendejo. Yeah. This guy runs and turns tail.
He really
He
does.
couldn't stand up and be a man.
No.
If
he's weak,
my
glass jaw.
Cream of Genie and you rubbed the bottle and she popped out and he said, I want testicles. He still couldn't be a man.
He's a character.
And y'all vote for these people.
The state of Texas, I really would like to see Beto
Where
O'Rourke
are the angry women on the right? My God, y'all have got to be tired of living like this.
But if you notice,
girls,
that propaganda is strong.
But have you noticed the right wins and they're still angry?
That good to make me that stupid. Okay.
Fascism always needs a target, guys. It always needs someone, right? Remember that, and they're going to always have a target. If it's not women, it's the gay community.
Yep.
They used to beating on the blacks,
Mm-hmm.
right? If it's not us, they focus on that border down there and hating on brown people. They always need a target.
Yep.
To be upset about.
The other aspect of it is if and when this thing actually does take form, because we'll know come 2022. We will know what we're facing come 2022. So now it turns to the Democrats. And we all have to ask ourselves honestly, is Joe Biden the answer?
I don't think so. But we'll see. But listen, the problem is he all we got.
He
Sleepy
is.
Joe is all we got. Is Sleepy Joe, folks, or fascism?
Oh, and
I think everybody got to be ready for the darker scenarios that's going to come.
Now, hold up.
Mhm.
He just because he has served 4 years doesn't mean he has to continue on. He can say, you know what, I don't feel I'm fit enough to do another 4 years. I'm gonna pass the torch on to
he's going to run again.
But why would he though? But that's the thing is, if he says he's not going to run, he's already handicapped himself. The moment he announced that, he's a lame duck.
Yeah,
right.
Pretty much.
And that's why I tell people, listen, no president goes in there and says, because
LBJ didn't do it. LBJ
Right.
when LBJ
Exactly.
when LBJ knew that the Vietnam War was going to be an albatross around his neck, he announced it. He didn't have anything to lose at that point. He had already beaten Goldwater. He was cool. But he knew he was not going to seek the nomination. You did the remainder of Kennedy's and your own. You knew exactly what it was that you were going to do. You knew you were going to walk away from this.
Yep.
So if Biden is our answer, or if Biden is the only thing we have left, it has got to come with some caveats. We have got, as the American public, we have got to start asking more from our opposition party. Now, I already said, come November, I'm voting for the Democrats. Doesn't mean I'm happy about it. It does not mean I am not happy about it, because they have not given me anything to be happy about. I am tired of voting with a gun to the back of my head. I'm sick of it. I am sick of it. And that is what I feel like the Democratic Party has done. Every time. We watch what the Republicans do in real time. Oh, ladies, did you want to control your body? Psych. Hey, remember that stuff about history when we talked about black people and gays? Nope. CRT. It's got to go. And then here come the Democrats. I'm sitting here. We're like, you going to do something? Anything? You going to fight? Stand up? Something? And every election, they put a gun right to the back of our heads and they go, you can either vote for us or you get them. And my problem is, I'm sick of it. I've got a powder burn and I ain't even been shot yet. I'm done voting like that. I need the Democrats to give me something. Why is it that Marcus Flowers is running against Marjorie Taylor Greene, and the only time you can hear about it is if you go on TikTok?
Exactly. And that's the same thing I said, because I talked to the man. And I'm like, I see, why the hell would CNN sit here and give Jeff DeSantis or even Alex Jones, talk about Alex Jones, get this crackpot a slot, and you talk so much about QAnon train wreck Green, but you won't put her opposition on there? And he's really a decent guy.
Yes.
Man. He's really out here, grassroots, on the ground, veteran, talking to these people, talking to other people in the MAGA cult, man, saying, hey, but what has she done for you? Right? He really is he's really trying to bring that community together to bring some normalcy back. And they won't say his name.
Who is it that the gentleman that's running against Kennedy in Louisiana?
Oh yeah, I got him in my link tree. Hold on, he had the other commercial with the news.
Yes,
like Charles something.
Gary.
No, we're gonna get him too, but it's Charles.
Chambers. Gary, is it Chambers? Is his last name?
No. So Chambers is the one. Gary Chambers Jr. is Louisiana. He's the one who burned the flag.
Yes.
Like, man, so he's the one. We need him too.
Yes.
These are the people we need to get real change.
And that's what I'm talking about.
It's like Charles. Let me pull him up real quick.
Why is it that the DNC, I will go out, and this is me personally, my brother, Antoine Jennings.
Charles
Booker.
Charles Booker.
Yeah, my brother, Antoine
Professor
Jennings, who's running for Missouri Senate seat, District 8. He can't get the Jefferson City Democrats. He can't get the Blue Springs Democrats. He can't get any of these Democratic Party people to support a Democratic nominee for a Senate seat in Missouri 8. He's running against 3 people, 2 of which are MAGA cultists. He can't even get no love. So what exactly is the Democrats going to do besides put a gun in the back of our damn heads? My problem with the Democratic Party as it stands right now is if Joe's the answer, he needs to give up more than what he's giving up.
Exactly. A lot more.
I need to see more Kamala Harris's. I need to see, because I know there are dynamic, perfect example, and I'm bringing her up. My old commander, Ashley Ehas, is running in Pennsylvania. I have yet to see one video about her except for the ones that she runs. This is my problem. The Democrats they're going to look at what they're going to end up doing is, we're the only game in town, baby. Baby, you know you need us. I'm sick of that.
And that didn't work out so well here in Virginia.
It didn't.
Right? That did not work out. We let Youngkin come up in here, another Trump clone, with the Daughters of Confederacy pushing all that, and he had a little sellout with him that's been out here with Larry Elders in California.
Yep.
And they came through and just wreaked havoc, man. And now they're trying to, this whole false war on critical race theory, right? And that's the problem when you say, hey, it's us or them. If you don't just sit back and do that, you got to put viable candidates in here.
You have to put up a fight.
Yeah,
and my problem
with energy and passion.
Yeah, the Democratic Party is basically sitting there saying, well, we're the only game in town. You may very well be the only game in town. But to face what we're facing, why was there not any Democrats fighting against this CRT? I wanted to see a Democrat in Florida standing in front of DeSantis asking him to define what CRT is.
Yes.
Just embarrass these people. Embarrass them.
You had a kid from the school shooting that happened in the state stand in front of him with no fault, just completely went, I need you to tell me and everybody else in this room right now that you will not take any more donations from the NRA. To Rubio.
Yes.
Right to his face. Hey, tell me.
And
but you don't have anybody in office who is stepping up to do this in front of them.
And that's my problem. That is my problem. It's the same way I feel about the January 6th committee. Yes, I am glad that all of this information is coming out. Yes, I am glad that you have people that are testifying. I am glad to know these things. But what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do?
DOJ, it is useless. Unless people get charged, it's useless.
And that's the thing. What they're sitting there, I get the idea of, well, we want to wait until everything is done. Okay. But here's the thing. You have enough evidence on just the people that showed up in the building. And we're not talking 60 days or 35. No, hit them with years.
Yep, like 15, like the other clown ain't looking at.
Yeah,
give it 15 years.
Yeah, since if you can bring about sedition charges against the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys, you can do that for all of them. Yep. Because our democracy is at stake. If these people manage to get away with this, we're going to end up with another Trump presidency. And the thing is, yes, the Democrats can say we're the only game in town, but the stakes are bigger this time. Yes. There are much bigger stakes than simply saying this is the most important election. I don't care if you say it. Show it to me.
Yeah, do something.
Yeah, show me that this matters to you.
Go force serve. And the thing is, if you can charge Gunna and Young Thug with conspiracy and racketeering for their rap songs and lyrics, then you can definitely charge Diaper Don for this insurrection with the overwhelming evidence that's out here, with the overwhelming videotape evidence and call logs and everything else. You can indict this man.
They charged Young Thug and Gunner and them with RICO, didn't they?
Yes.
Is
on
this not-
anything? That
Yes.
song, anything.
On
I
the-
still love that song, man. I was like, are you serious? You got this boy off of his lyrics?
And you mean to tell me you can go listen to the lyrics of a Young Thug song and hit them with RICO charges, but you cannot hear people testifying in front of you and not do the same thing? Okay, so you can't get him for a RICO charge. You can't get Donald Trump and his enablers for a RICO charge. Okay, fine. Charge him with something. These people are going to.
He had militias at his command.
Yes.
He knew the militia was armed. He knew they was armed.
Yes.
He said, they're not here for me. So that means, hey, he's there for them.
So you mean to tell me you're going to, and again, I go back to what the Democrats can do. You have all these elected leaders, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, AOC, blah, blah, blah. Ain't none of y'all asking for this? Lord, go ahead, Joker. Go ahead. Go ahead, Joker.
What is the one thing that they are asking for us right now that we're constantly getting in emails?
Oh, that.
Fundraising.
The
fundraisers.
fundraisers. The
And you're
fundraisers.
talking about these big names like this? Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second.
Go ahead.
Top 2 Democrats, House and Senate, for net worth, both come from a man's state in Virginia. You've got Mark Warren and Don Bayer, or whatever his name is. Both of them. One's worth $214.1 million and one's worth $124.9 million. But they're asking us for $15 to donate to help them beat the Republican Party. Take your own money. Take the inside trader that you use, that you dial up all the time to do your little inside trading. Use your own money to do these things because you're not helping us. All you're wanting is more money. That's all it is. That's why they're not doing anything.
My money going to change candidates. That's it. The ones we talked about, Stacey Abrams, Gary Chambers, Charles Booker, Marcus Flowers, people like that. That is where my $15 going. That's where I'm rallying with other people out here on the social media. That's where our money needs to go, to the change agents.
Yes,
not to the status quo.
No, and the thing is, if Biden's not going to run, let's say he isn't. Let's say but he doesn't announce it till 2023, the end of 2023. We'll say he doesn't run, but he doesn't announce.
Do it very late.
Yeah, at the very latest, he does it at the November of 2023. Okay. Then Stacey Abrams should be running for president. It's that simple. I said it and I ain't taking it back. If the Democrat, thank you.
Man,
if the Democratic Party,
I'm voting for it.
Thank you.
Come on,
100%.
Come on, but they already and they look how they did Hillary. They're like,
look.
They still mad about Obama.
But here's something my wife says all the time, and I love my wife to death. But she's extremely. This is who she is. She does not sugarcoat anything. The problem was America was absolutely ready for a woman president. They weren't ready for Hillary Clinton as president.
Take Stacey Abrams.
Stacey Abrams,
because she is what we need.
Yes,
but the problem is they can't get over this.
They will, and
they can't get over this.
No.
If she's a straight white male, maybe, right? But they're not ready for any more of this.
No,
not ready for progressive change.
And
that's why we got to crush them, guys. We got to be ready to do everything. And that's why I say we in the cold civil war, guys. We've got to be ready to outvote these guys. We got to mobilize, and we got to meet them with that same energy.
The other aspect,
political violence is on the table as well. You see what they've been doing out here.
The other aspect,
candidates off, the threats and all that. We've got to be ready to deal with all of that.
The other aspect of it is the Democratic Party has got to embrace its progressive roots.
Yes.
Because let's just be honest. The Republicans have embraced crazy. They have embraced the worst aspects of their party. They have.
Yes.
I said before, I don't believe all Republicans are racist, but I believe every racist is a registered Republican.
Straight up.
So
who is the strongest strongest little group within the Democratic Society, within the House of Representatives? It is the progressive candidates.
Yes.
You got to get AOC. You got to get that young blood up there. AOC, man, get her crew up there. Because the right is so far polarized, you can't be in the middle anymore. It pulls you to the right as well. They're so far. They've left the scales into fascism. That's how far they polarize. And we have to push against that.
Yes, exactly. I don't even think there is a. I don't think there's a moderate part to be had. to
No.
sit here and watch
It's
these.
full MAGA. It's full MAGA. They even call themselves ultra MAGA now.
Yes.
Right? So they have went
Or dark
they
MAGA.
went into that dark place, and they're not coming back.
No.
I truly believe the Republican Party died with John McCain.
Exactly.
When he was buried, I thought that was it for the Republican. At that point, I probably knew I would never vote Republican again. Because that Republican Party is now dead.
Yes, it is now.
And now the real question is, are we going to let it burn down the rest of the country?
And if the Democrats do not, I go ahead, Victoria. Go ahead.
I think there are plenty of people out there who are sick of the patriarchy. We are all about these AOCs and Stacey Abrams. I want to see more trans people, more indigenous people, people of color, people with disabilities.
Sarah McBride.
Anything other than a white old man or white woman. Any of these white women, what in the hell have you contributed? Now, like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, yes, all damn day. We need more of that.
But the problem is the Democratic Party has got to get over itself. I said this about Bill Clinton, and I meant every single word of it. Bill Clinton is a new Democrat.
Democrat.
He's a new Democrat. Let me explain what a new Democrat is. New Democrats believe the same way the conservatives do. They think Republican, but they don't use offensive language. So, in this particular instance, in this situation, what you end up with is every person that came behind Bill Clinton was a new Democrat. All of them. Joe Biden, new Democrat. Nancy Pelosi, new Democrat. Chuck Schumer, new Democrat. Barack Obama, new Democrat. Hillary Clinton, new Democrat. They're all following the same template that Bill Clinton put up.
You know what we need to do?
What, get rid of it?
No. Yeah, get rid of it, period. But you know what we need to do? And literally, in all retrospect, what we have to do is, no offense to Gen X, and no offense, but all the offenses to boomers, is that they do not need to be in office anymore. Millennials, it has to be younger generation. It has to be somebody who has some life still left in them. It has to be somebody who can do some things, who has been through the struggle, man. Like, these old rich white men they haven't been through this. They don't understand.
The problem is, and I will say this as a Gen Xer, our Gen X generation, we were supposed to be the guard against the worst aspects of boomers. I said it and I ain't taking it back. We were supposed to be. We were designed to do that. We saw the worst excess of boomers. We saw it. This isn't some stuff that the millennials are reading in a book. We were there. And our whole job was we were the ones that were supposed to tap mom and dad on the shoulder and go, it's time to sit down now. It's time to let go of the reins and let someone else have a chance. Now, a Gen X president, a Gen X Congress, I'm going to tell you exactly what you're going to get. Realism. We were latchkey kids. Every single one of us was latchkey kids. We remember. we were
as nails.
Yes, we were tough as we were
right
tough.
now.
But listen, we were tough as nails because we saw how the promises and the dreams failed. We saw them fail in real time.
Oh man, I tell you, sometimes when my teenagers are talking, the 13-year-old, these kids are vicious.
Mm-hmm.
When they have the power to vote, some of these little woke kids, oh my God.
But they got it from us.
Yeah.
We were latchkey kids. The singular person in a Gen X's life.
We singular come on a quarter of an hour there, Thomas.
I know. I know. Rapid fire. The singular face of every Gen Xer's nightmare was Ronald Reagan. Every one of us. We had nightmares about Ronald Reagan. What was Ronald Reagan's big thing? I'm going to screw you, but I'm going to make you smile because it's morning. Gen Xers saw that lie. We saw it. Our job was to stop the boomers. And we failed. We failed spectacularly. And because of that, we are now fighting between two boomers, Trump and Biden, who are hell-bent on reliving glory days for the boomer generation.
Great again.
Oh my good!
Like when was it ever great?
It was
right?
never great.
That's the whole fallacy of that nonsense. They can never come back. I was like, when was it great for black people, for gay or trans, or for women even? When was America great?
It never was.
Never.
Go ahead, Joker.
Can I say this one thing, and then we move over to rapid fire because we've got 20 minutes left before we are over. Please do also remember that elder and mid millennials were also latchkey kids.
Mm-hmm. They remember.
I'm an elder millennial, so
y'all exactly. But it was like
I remember all of that as well.
It was like every generation is supposed to be a reflection of the generation before it. The boomers were able to dance because the greatest generation broke their backs to get them there. The boomers dancing, Gen Xers was supposed to shut the music off. We were supposed to tell mom and dad, sit down. You've had your fun. Beach boy your ass back into the room while we go clean up with Ronnie and all the mess that you guys left. But
Ronnie and Jasmine did last night.
Exactly.
I gotta go clean that up now. Thank you very much.
Because think about it. Ronald Reagan touched so many Gen Xers in so many different ways. If you black, you remember the crack addictions. You remember the drug busts and things of that nature. You also remember Iran-Contra. If you are a woman, you remember, if you're a gay person, you remember AIDS and how he didn't say the word until his second, and after his second inauguration. Every Gen Xer has a fingerprint from Ronald Reagan on it. Our job was to stop these people. And the last boomer that we let have reign, which was Bill Clinton, we didn't stop him. We didn't tell Bill, hey, we're not thinking about tomorrow now, Bill. We think about right now. Right now is what I'm thinking about, Bill. Right now. I don't care about tomorrow. I'm trying to live through today. We were not Gen Xers. We simply was just like, hey, we check out, man. And then the millennials watched us check out.
I mean, and does anybody not give a shit about the planet?
Thank you.
Reversing all these pollution laws and
because they don't care, man. They figure they're not gonna be here to see it anyway.
Yeah, global warming's a hoax, my ass, and I mean, like how dumb is dumb? But does anybody? We're not gonna have a world to live in.
Yeah. Look, hey, just like the movie "Don't Look Up," right? And watching it play out in front of us.
And that's what I mean. If the Democratic Party does not get out of its own way, we're going to have a problem. We're going to have a problem because we already know what's coming. They're not lying about it. But now, favorite part of the show, rapid fire with U.S. Army Overlord. So we will start off with Victoria, who likes to throw these questions out here. Victoria, Go ahead.
Yeah, in your CD player right now.
My CD player?
Yeah, favorite artist like that you're listening to right now.
Oh, well, no CD player, but the song I've been bumping all day was "Unstoppable" by Sia.
Ooh.
Anybody?
All right. Favorite place you visited in the military?
Germany.
I knew you was gonna say that. I knew you was gonna say that. I knew you was gonna say that.
My God, I love that country.
Woo.
I married that country.
Love Germany.
I love that country, man.
All right, Joker. Go ahead, Joker.
Favorite dish?
Seafood gumbo. My wife just made it for me. I love it, man. So much history. And here's the thing about it. She don't even eat seafood. Right? That's what's so cool. That's what she's such a great woman, man. She really has mastered this stuff, and it has such a deep, history with me. My family just dealing with it. So yeah, seafood gumbo, love it.
All right, Victoria.
Most hated Game of Thrones character. Joker can't answer this one, but the character that you just wanted to jump in the screen and claw its eyes out.
Joffrey. I really celebrated. I celebrated when he went down. I had a lot of people I really hated, but Joffrey was really just, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard.
I couldn't say anything about that.
I party hard. I party hard when he went out. I party hard, man.
Yeah,
you can't.
He said that about me because I've never watched Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he's not a.
Hey,
thrower.
catch up, man. It's amazing. Man.
I tried to tell him.
Try
to tell him. Yeah,
it's amazing, dude. By season 3, you're gonna be like, oh my god, man! Season 3 was coming together, man.
You can't. Yeah, you really can't argue against Joffrey dying. You can't. You just
no, man. He was so weak, man. He was everything, just evil personified, man. He really was a very evil dude, man.
Cats or dogs? Cats.
Oh man, I'm kind of torn. I like them both, right? I had them both, but I guess I gotta go with cats if I have to pick one.
Okay.
Good choice, my man. Good choice.
All right. So you got out as a master sergeant, so this is going to be a straight up Army question. All right.
Of course it is.
You first, Sergeant. Now, favorite exercise to do with the soldiers?
I'll side straddle hop you to death. The 4 count, hey, the jumping jacks, we call it with side straddle hop. 100, baby. We're going to do 100 of them.
Oh, see, you
100 of them. Just be like, oh, my God, how long you going to keep going?
Oh, you'd have been there first, Sergeant. I'd have been like, oh, man, I'm going to sick call.
Just tell you, people like, why are we here?
Man, first Sergeant leading PT this morning. Yeah, I'm going to sick call, dog. Oh, man, I got the runny guts. I'm good.
That's it.
Does pineapple go on pizza?
Yes.
Dun, dun,
I
dun.
I can hear my Union Gang people screaming right now. There's such a war within Union Gang over these dang pineapples. I did not know it's such a major thing. I really enjoy my little pineapple. I had no idea that people really have like fight positions dug out over these pineapples.
Oh, it's a war.
That's serious.
It's a
really is a war, man. My God,
it's a war, man.
It's delicious. I tried it and I liked it, and I just kind of leave them on there.
I eat it. I'm telling you, it's a war. You say that to the
really
wrong
serious,
people,
man.
they will get on you like, excuse me, you put pineapple on your stuff.
Over there, man. They serious about you.
All right. Now I know you play video games. So what video game are you doing right now?
I haven't done much because I've been doing all this, but I have been playing like a little space game. I think it's like Space. Oh man, I forgot the name of it. It's a space game. I really love space games. I'm a sci-fi geek at heart, guys.
Ooh.
My little secret. I love sci-fi movies. Everything sci-fi, Star Wars, Trek, all of that.
Okay,
right?
all right.
So I'm a straight geek on that stuff. I love it, man. It's just like, hey, if that's my thing right there, I'll be the high priest, man.
Okay, all right.
Sister Jedi.
Okay, this is for all of you guys. Who is your celebrity crush?
Linda Carter, the original Wonder Woman.
Oh my God!
Yeah, she kind of got me through puberty.
Man, look, Linda.
I still got her ringtone. Season 3, I still got the ringtone.
Linda, yeah. All right.
I like Linda Carter.
Look, I'm gonna go both sides. So for women, got to be Viola Davis. Got to be Viola Davis. I watched every episode of How to Get Away with Murder just for her.
She is amazing.
That woman there. But I have a man crush. I ain't gonna lie. I have a man crush. I'm prepared to say it on air for the first time.
Let's hear it.
Henry Cavill.
Yes, he's the best Superman ever.
That's the best.
He's the best Superman ever.
That is.
He got played so dirty.
Hey, look,
he's the best Superman of all time, man.
What do you mean you already?
Knew that already.
How did you know? I have never said to anybody that
You talk so much on TikTok about Henry Cavill that everybody.
And he's a bad Witcher too. He's a bad Witcher too, man.
Look.
Oh my God, man. I love what they've done with that video game. I can't wait for them to see the rest of that.
when he's taken Henry's sister to some country to marry off some old geezer, and they're playing cards, and they send all the ladies out because he's being inappropriate, and then they just get it on.
Look,
I was like, oh, Henry.
Now I love Henry Cavill as Superman. I love him as Witcher, but one of my favorite films that I've seen lately is called Night Hunter, and it's on Amazon. And Henry Cavill plays a cop, and it is a really good film. But Henry, I think something happened to him between Immortals and Man of Steel. He will never go back to being small again. It will never happen. I don't know. Like in Immortals, he was slimmed down. Then he gets a part as Superman, and just for whatever dude just gets bulked up. So here he is in this movie called The Night Hunter, and it's Henry Cavill. He's swole for no reason whatsoever. He's a big-ass cop. I love that film. Loved it. Loved him in Mission Impossible. I watched The Man from U.N.C.L.E. just for him. Henry Cavill, I'm serious. Since I don't have no shame whatsoever, Henry Cavill, now a movie with Henry Cavill in my... No, what's up?
I like Regina King too, especially with her and Watchmen. I really love what she's done. I really love what she's done. I think people really slept on the Watchmen series.
Yes,
it really did. And even like her Western movie she was in and stuff. Mm-hmm. She is really powerful in the movie.
She's a fantastic actress. She really
is. And she went through a lot of personal tragedy and stuff, but I really do love and admire her. I do for what she's doing in the movie.
Charlie's Angels.
Which Charlie's Angels?
From the 70s.
Yes, I liked it. It.
Which one? Who you picking?
Kelly Jackson. What was her name?
The center one. Who was the center one?
Karen Jackson.
Okay.
Karen Jackson. Who?
There was Kate Jackson.
Kate Jackson.
There was Jacqueline Smith.
I had a crush on Jacqueline Smith, but I heard she might be MAGA.
I liked all that stuff, man. Buck Rogers, man. I used to love all that, man. Battlestar Galactica. Airwolf. I loved all that stuff, man. I really did.
Little robot. Beady.
Mm-hmm. Buck Rogers, man.
You just beady.
Remember,
Look,
what's up, Buck?
Look, we thought we were the shit. We came out with candy in our generation. It was called Reese's Pieces.
Yes, because of E.T.
Yeah,
it is so cool that the stuff we grew up on, I can now play games with my kids or watch the movies with them. Like, read the whole Marvel series. I love it. The comic books, I could sit in here with my kids and sit back and watch, Doctor Strange. And I was like, man, this is so cool, man. That's the moments I really love.
Joker, what's wrong?
On the north side of town that has like his basement renovated out. And it has all these original games from the 80s. The big stand-up, you would have a bar stool. He has got this whole thing, and it is the coolest thing because you can go in and you pay like a cover charge and you get to play like all Saturday afternoon and relive a little bit of our childhood. And when the time that we went, my kid was too little, but see, he's old enough now that he would go and he would just be like, God, because he grew up on Xbox and PlayStation and all of that. But yeah, Pong. Y'all remember Pong?
Come on, man. I used to play that. And you had the Tank Wars, man. And all that. Oh, yeah. ColecoVision, Atari.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and the first little Nintendo GameCube, and we were all addicted to damn Tetris.
I sucked at Tetris. I never could play
I hated Tetris.
I never could play it, man. I sucked at it. I was like, I was over it.
I still suck at it.
I'm no good, man.
I hate Tetris.
Okay, mustard, mayo, or ketchup. You can only choose one condiment for the rest of your life.
Hold on. 1 second. Hold on. I never even gave my celebrity crush.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, shit.
Taki mushrooms.
Hit it.
Good God.
Go ahead.
Like, I was having a discussion with my girlfriend the other day because I was like, I really don't think I have any celebrity crushes, but I've been crushing on a singer from a rock band that I've been in love with for 20 years. And technically, I guess they are celebrities, and it's Christina Scabia of Lacuna Coil. Like, I am absolutely
Now I got to look her up.
Got a angelic voice, and she is that's my mental health band, and I fawn at this woman. I'm just like, huh.
I got to look her up.
Dude, look up the band Lacuna Coil. I'll send you it in a message.
Okay. All right. So go ahead, answer.
For the rest of your life, one condiment.
That's tough, man.
Go ahead, Joker. Which one? What condiment?
Okay. One ketchup.
You said ketchup, mustard, or mayo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the rest of your life.
None. Hot sauce.
You always got to be difficult.
Okay.
I broke the rules.
If I don't have that spice and that kick, I could give two craps about the rest of it.
I'm gonna go with mayo because I like mayo.
Mayo is pretty close too, man. I normally mix them.
Yeah, mayo do it. All right.
Yeah, because Germany had me putting the mayo on the fries. I still can rock that.
Woo!
That's why I love that culture, man. I
really want
the
to go
sandwich
to Germany.
and the fries, dipping it down.
Look, I really want to go to Germany and have a real currywurst broth. Like, I really want a real, authentic currywurst.
You ain't got to go to Germany,
from, like,
man.
the street, like a street vendor.
She can show you how to do that German.
All right. So we are now 5 minutes away from the end of the show. And we have talked a lot about politics, about January 6th, rapid fire and everything. So as we always do, we give our final thoughts, and we will go to our guest for the evening. Go ahead, brother. Give us your final thoughts.
All right. It's deadly serious out here, guys, and we have to band together. Right. One thing, T. Nathan, he locked down right now. He's telling everybody to build as many alliances as possible. I'm going to be pushing out stuff Tuesday, really honing in on these political candidates, these changed candidates we talked about. We're in the cold civil war. Our voting is our primary weapon right now. If we want to get through this thing without shots fired and without falling into darker times, we've got to vote like never before. We've got to vote in overwhelming numbers so they can't cheat us from it. And we have to understand it may get darker, and we have to be, working with our community, forming defense teams, protecting ourselves. Keep your head up, people. But I do think that darker times are coming. I think that we've made a lot of mistakes, and we're exposed now as a country. So, hey, stick with it. Gen Xers, we built for adversity, and so we got to continue to pull these people through it, right? That's one thing. I'm built for adversity, baby. And so if I feel this is all my time, then I'm going to shine and go hard for our democracy. That's it. Power to the people.
All right. Miss Victoria, final thoughts.
Just to add to what he just said, if you can help people get to polls, rural people, if you have a van, tell people you will pick them up, get them, I know money's tight for everybody, gas is high, but this is important. And if that is the one small way you can help, get people to polls.
All right. Mr. Joker, final thoughts.
I don't know. I keep saying the same thing I'm going to continue to keep saying the same thing in the beginning of the show and at the end of the show. I'm really tired of seeing the minority being killed by police on a consistent basis, and that I, as a white individual, can feel not so scared when I'm in the presence of the police. ACAB, all cops are bastardized. Until this system is fixed and people in the minorities are not being killed left and right for no reason at all, I'm not going to stand for this anymore. ACAB.
All right. And now it's on to me. Patriotism is a fake word to a lot of people. It's easy for people to call themselves patriots. It's easy for you to stand up and say that you're here for liberty and freedom and things of that nature. But if you can't put a pinpoint on what that means, you're not a patriot. You are patronizing. The biggest problem I have with people using that word is that a lot of them don't understand the sacrifice that comes in with it. A lot of them do not understand that it takes a hell of a lot more than putting a flag on your TikToks or talk about freedom or listening to Lee Greenwood. Patriotism means loving your country. Patriotism means wanting to see your country be better for every single person, whether they voted for your guy or not, whether they believe the way you believe, whether they worship the God that you worship, whether they live in a relationship of a man and a woman the same way you do. Patriotism gets mixed up with people's personal ideologies, and it forms a vicious stew that people pour out on the masses. I don't call myself a patriot, even though I have every right to. I have served in this country. But more than anything, I love America. I will love what America could be. I don't love what America is. I love what America can do. I do not love what America has done. So if all you have for your patriotism is simply words or slogans or a T-shirt that's out of flag code because it's covered in an American flag, you don't get a chance to tell me that you love this country. You are patronizing me. You are trying to pretend that your love of America is more than mine. I will always criticize this country as long as it does not live up to the ideals that it sends out to the rest of the world. So you don't impress me by calling yourself a patriot. You impress me by actually being one. And with that, we are done for the night. Thank you for tuning into another thrilling episode of The Villain's View. I am Thomas Bishop. I still have COVID. I am called the villain. We will see you in 1 week from tonight. You guys, guys, be safe. Be great. Love each other. And if don't nobody tell you I love you, they love you. I love you. We'll see y'all next week.
Power to the people.
With the big guns, big tongue, known to make a chick hot tub, popping bubbly, rubbing your spot, love, got to scream to punish me.